So you've got nothing against Catholics, as you can see. You're a genuine, honest man, Billy. I know you. I know about you. You were targeted by the NLA yourself, weren't you? You want to tell us what happened? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Okay, guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here outside Belfast city centre, our beautiful city centre that still has no Union flag on it. And growing up as a wee boy in Belfast, it was just a sight. Belfast is Northern Ireland, Ulster, part of the United Kingdom, and it's I miss it. We all miss it. You know, it's something we grew up with. It's part of our life, and it's came down for what reason? It came down because Sinn Féin don't want it up there. Sinn Féin want this country not no longer to be part of the United Kingdom. They basically want me out of my home and want rid of me because that's what they want. I'm a British citizen born in Northern Ireland in the village in 1970, born in the city hospital in Belfast city centre, and this is my home. This is all I know. It's not my fault that we were born here. It's not my fault I was born on the the Union flag that no longer flies above my city hall. And these guys have been here. I'm going to have a word with one of them in a wee minute, but they've been here for a wee while, and still no. Go ahead, man. Still no further forward. Let me just get a hold of Billy. Just you keep on the flag here. Billy, sorry to interrupt. Can I get a wee quick interview for 2 minutes? I'm just rolling. I'll bring you straight back again. So I'm here with Billy Dixon. Billy, so I'm just going to ask you questions and you just answer the questions, right? It's like, how long have you been doing this for?
Well, this protest has been going on for 17 years, and it's held every Saturday between 1 and 2. And I would say I've been here nearly every Saturday.
Nearly every Saturday for 17 years. How old are you now?
Well, I'm coming up. Well, I'm well on the 70s, so I'm coming up close to
the big 80. Yeah, no, I thought I was old at 55. You know what I mean? But
I still feel like I don't feel any older than 25.
Yeah, yeah. I have to say, you're quite a remarkable man. Amongst the Protestant Unionist Loyalist community, you're really well known, and it's an honour. I feel honoured to be talking to you and being with you, and I'm just glad you're still with us right now, and you're looking healthy and fit now. That's for sure.
It's good that you're doing what you are doing, because I think information has to go out there, and visual and audio has to go out there for the people. And what you did this morning was marvellous about the long bag drums. Because, okay, I'll not attract big crowds, but it's part of our culture and our history. And what you have done, you have put the message out there, you put the information out there to thousands probably. I would say thousands. So I'm indebted to you.
Yeah, I think I've got over 2.5 million views in total or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, maybe more. But 900 videos, and I am consistent. But the thing is, it's not hard. It's for me, it's easy. You're doing the hard work out here, and I just want to ask you this: how does it feel to not see the support that you should be getting on this every Saturday?
Well, I just look at our history, and you look back. Through the centuries, unionism or Protestantism was always the minority who took a stand. I mean, you can illustrate that even today. The Panthers boys going to Derry, 13. I mean, it wasn't they were prepared to surrender the city to the Jacobite forces. I can imagine all the conversations going on. Is our James rightful king and all that sort of thing. But it was a minority. It was a minority of 13 who understood what needed to be done and done it. So yes, we are a minority who's to stand here, but we know it's necessary that protest should be maintained week after week. Now, it doesn't attract a lot of people, but I do sincerely believe, that the vast majority of the people support our views. That Look at it. An empty flagpole.
Yep.
And this is
Look.
capital city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look,
Yep.
that's disgraceful.
It is.
And
It is.
my father served in the 8th Army. My grandfather was in the First World War, and they fought for the flag. And what am I asked to do? Stand for an hour?
Yeah.
What sacrifices is that?
Yep.
That's no sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not asking people to come week after week, month after month. If they come down again, even
Yeah.
to show that they want that flag back up again.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the only way we're going to get that flag back up again, maybe, is if we get more unionist councillors elected.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to aim for. That at the next election, to get more unionist councillors in there, that we can overturn that.
Yeah.
But I think there may be other ways of doing it as well. And I am glad that the unionist parties, all the unionist parties, are thinking along legal lines, because although we may be a minority, we are a minority now, but we still have rights. And I think they're looking at the legal aspects of it. I mean, you take, for example, I don't know if you ever heard of the Borough Charter, but that was set up. That was set up in Australia to protect the Aborigine rights. And that's been very effective for the Aborigines as a minority.
Yeah.
I mean, if they say a piece of land or a tree or something is special to them, the authorities can't take it away.
Yeah.
They've got rights under the Borough Charter.
Yeah.
So maybe we have to start looking along those lines.
Yeah. And what about support from Westminster? Like, because we're part of the United Kingdom. Why are we not getting any support? Why are they not stepping in and putting our flag back up that belongs to Northern Ireland, England, Wales, and Scotland?
Well, I honestly think we have failed down through the years. We have isolated ourselves from the mainland, even mentally separate ourselves. We should have been getting closer to the United Kingdom in all sorts of ways. Now, I could talk to you, I might talk too long about this,
Yeah.
but to try and be brief, I think Jim Allister is doing a tremendous job.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched the videos and all,
Yep.
the
No,
different
I follow
debates.
TUV and Jim also, yeah,
Well,
and Rob McDonald.
Because you see you, right? But he's coming across, he's an educated man.
Yep, that's correct.
He
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about. And I say the longer he is in there, the more support he's going to get among all MPs, regardless of their party. Because if MPs of whatever party, if they've got an ounce of brains, or an ounce of sense,
Yeah.
they're bound to realise, here, what this man's saying, and if they apply it to their own constituents
Yeah.
and their own constituency, it should ring true.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. So.
So we've got to keep battling on, and
And from many directions, I believe, there's
Right.
many directions we need to be battling from.
that's it. And I think the legal direction is one that the unionist party, especially in the council here, are now taking up. Jimmy Bryson's done a great job,
Yeah,
and others have done. They've done John Ross and all. They've all done yes, again they are. Again, they are a minority among the unionists, but that minority's coming across with tremendous force,
Yeah.
and they're bringing the people with them.
Yeah.
And we may be the unionist party, the unionist people may be a minority, but we're not going to be pushed over.
No,
We're
definitely.
not going to be ignored.
No, it's like Jimmy Bryson says, if we don't get a slice of the pie, there won't be any pie.
That's absolutely,
Bang on, bang on.
absolutely.
But I just want you to know, the work that we're doing as well, boys in East Belfast and South Belfast and Rathcoole, Ballymena, Portadown, Lurgan, we are pushing now the cultural thing, the Ulster Scots. Like I say, I'm sort of in third gear, we're moving up gear, and the next gear is, to be honest, this is a bit of an exclusive, to be honest with you, is we are going to be holding the church accountable of what's been going on and the silencing of everything that's been going on in the United Kingdom.
Do you not think that we need to educate the people regarding their history. I mean, how many times have we heard Republicans talking about the Unionists as planters?
Yep.
They are the planters.
Yep.
The Celts came from Central Europe, and when they came to these islands were already occupied,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And they didn't speak Irish.
Right.
These islands were occupied, and in fact, at one time there was a kingdom, as you probably know, a kingdom that straddled both the north part of Ireland here and Scotland called Dalriada.
Yep.
You know, so they, they, we have to look upon it as these islands are the British Isles.
Yep.
They were the planters. They came from Central Europe and planted themselves. Okay, they became the dominant tribe, you want to call it that way. And of course, they had a tremendous impact on the cultural aspect of the land. And for example, even names.
Yeah.
I mean, we're part accepted. We're not blind. We're not ignorant. We know the impact they've had on the land, and especially names, as I said. And we're quite happy to know that Belfast, but we're happy to know it's Irish. You know, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
But what they don't seem to realise that the Ulster Scots, that we should have equality. And I mean, if you have the Irish signage, then it follows that there must be Ulster Scots as well.
That's correct. Yeah, I've heard that argument. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, do we really want to have any other language on the signage except English? If you're driving a car, now I've been to Belgium, and I think it's three names on a sign.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard enough to know where you're going.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
clear, precise signage. English is the international language. International signage in English. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else. But if they're going to insist on ramming Irish down our throats,
Yeah.
and everywhere you go Irish,
Yeah.
then if there's going to be equality, there has to be Ulster Scots as well.
Yeah. Well, talking about equality, this is a time. Back we've been brought up. I'm 55. I'm born in 70, and
You're a teenager.
Yeah. Well, as far as the troubles are concerned, you know what I mean. But you've been through the troubles. You know exactly all about the official IRA and all about the right at the very all the different has it right into the 60s and all that. You were here when the communities were living together. When Protestants and Catholics were living together. So it's a long time since now. This is an attack on us. The Irish language is an attack on us. But what I'm trying to say is, this isn't the Catholic community doing us to this. This is Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin. I don't believe the Catholics anymore. They can see the Protestants. We're not the bad guys anymore. I think they can see that. What do you feel about that? What's your feelings about that?
Well, I have good friends. And the Roman Catholic community. In fact, some of them have been to the forefront in campaigning to save the Boyne Bridge.
Yeah.
I think we all have to take people as we find them.
Yeah.
But being brought up in Northern Ireland as a young boy, playing about the streets, going up to the Cave Hill and all.
Yeah. Being in the footbands and the Orange Order.
We were not, there was no problem, there was no trouble. In fact, it wasn't until 1969 when I got married, by the way, that the trouble started.
Yeah, that's right.
The trouble started. But that's when the trouble started here. But I have, and I'm trying to simplify it, we don't have to get too complicated. But I had very good close friends who were Roman Catholics, who weren't involved in the IRA, no association with the IRA. And I seen them, I was hurt, in fact, really devastated whenever they were murdered.
Yeah.
They were murdered.
Right.
Good men. I felt just as hurt and angry as I did whenever good Protestant, good loyalists were murdered.
Of course. Yeah.
Because they were good people.
Yeah.
Roman Catholics, Protestants, and as someone who has been interested in local history for many years, there are many people in our history who, I would say, in the Roman Catholic community, who were respected by the Protestants, even though they didn't change the religion, they
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
water down the religion, but they were seen as honest people. I'll give you an example would be Barney Hughes.
Yeah.
Barney Hughes is a great example. The Roman Catholic baker. And because the Protestants held him in high esteem, but we could talk a lot about him,
Yeah.
but you don't have time.
Maybe another time.
Maybe another
Definitely,
time.
we'll sit down and we'll get a good chat about all
I'll
this.
tell you about a whole lot of
Yeah,
Roman
I'm really
Catholics.
interested. We would be really. My platform would be
Right,
interested in knowing this because
Right.
this is a lot of stuff that a lot of men don't talk about.
Just interrupt you and say that it's because of the high respect he was held in by the Protestants. Although it was a Protestant unionist town then, they elected him as the first Roman Catholic in Belfast Corporation.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and then there's Joe Devlin. I could go on and on, but maybe some.
So
other
what?
time
So yeah. So
we can
let's
talk
let,
about
let-
these
yeah,
people.
definitely. I would love to, and we need to. We have to
And-
talk
and
about
it was- and
this. Is
even-
things that people don't know.
Even the Reverend Cook. I mean, the Reverend Cook, seen as a staunch Presbyterian unionist, but the Reverend Cook was very highly respected among many of the Roman Catholic population. In fact, he was a close friend of Barney Hughes, as just mentioned there to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So maybe another time
Yeah.
we can talk about these people. But what I'm saying is that you just can't say all Roman Catholics are put them in that box.
Yeah.
All Protestants put them in that box.
Correct.
Far more complicated than that. But in the end of the day, you take people as you find them.
Yeah.
I mean, I take you as I find you.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not asking you what you know, whether you're a Presbyterian or a Methodist.
Methodist.
Maybe nothing. I'm not asking.
Yeah,
I'm not really interested.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but maybe as you get to know people,
Yeah.
you can start talking about those
Yeah, of
things.
course.
You get a friendship
Yeah.
developed. Now, I'm arranging with a man from West Belfast, and I'm arranging to go for a meal with him. You know, that's friendship.
Yeah.
Now, I know he's a devout Roman Catholic. Does that matter?
No, it doesn't. But let me say, has a content creator and on social media platforms and aware of quite a lot what's going on right now. I can honestly say, right now in history in Northern Ireland, I don't think unless back in your day, we haven't had a coming together of Protestants and Catholics quite like it today. And I mean Catholics from West Belfast, Ardoyne, Divis Flats, Bogside, Armagh, reaching out to an ex-loyalist prisoner. I don't hide my past. I am who I am. I'm proud of who I am.
Yeah.
But I do understand that sometimes we need to communicate to be able to go forward together to defeat some things. You know, this here is a distraction. The Irish Sign Language is a distraction. The Palestinian flag going up is a distraction. There's bigger things coming to this country that will affect both religions. And, you know, we are going in the right direction, and this is why we're getting all these attacks from Sinn Féin because they don't want us coming in there together. Would you agree with that? They don't want our guys, us Protestants, voting against Sinn Féin. They don't want Catholics, you know. I mean, they don't want the Catholics coming and voting for us and not voting for Sinn Féin, and that's what's happening because they can see the division that they're creating as well.
Well, again, you can go back in time and back up what you said, because you can go way back. I just can't remember the actual years, but you have Alex Boyd from Sandy Row, a tremendous trade unionist who ended up sharing a platform with those from the left, Larkin and them, you know.
Yeah.
Standing together, working class Protestants and Roman Catholics. In fact, there's a stained glass window in there at City Hall.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, so here is a Sandy Row man, orange man, prepared to stand beside other workers as a Protestant, as a unionist, as an orange man. You know, to the common object objective is to give proper rights and working rights and conditions for the workers, both sides.
Yeah.
But it was the establishment at that time. I think it was 1906.
Yeah.
Just somebody could correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, no.
I think it was 1906. It was the establishment that tried to divide by saying all sorts of stupid things about Protestants were getting more strike money and all this nonsense,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, to try and divide the people. But people should see them sort of things, you know.
Yeah, well, I always say that my wee saying on this is we're clever broads now, but that goes to the Catholics as well. We're not, before there's a lot more to Northern Ireland than meets the eye. What we believe, what's what we've went through, I do believe that was to create a division, to create like globalism and all the rest of it. So if everybody's divided, we're easier to control.
Well, I think again it goes back, and as you say, it's hard to know just what angle to take here. But if you go back over 100 years now, the 1912 period, right? Uh, the Roman Catholic Church were dominant. Uh, one of the main arguments against Irish Home Rule was that Home Rule would be Rome Rule, and that was a fact.
Yeah,
Um, but today that wouldn't be the case.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
Roman Catholicism doesn't have the same power as it had in 1912.
yeah,
You know, um, so there's a lot of things that have changed from 1912 to
yeah,
now. But I have to say this, that I believe that it would be better if a stronger case could be made. I think a case is definitely there, but it should be clarified more. A stronger case, clarified, promoted that an all Ireland under the British rule, under British Crown,
yeah,
is better as long as everyone can feel that they're getting a fair crack of the whip and that there's no injustice. Now, at the moment, the Unionist people in Southern Ireland are not getting justice. They're not getting fair treatment.
yeah,
In fact, I don't know many times the Grand Lodge, Orange Lodge, has asked for meetings with the Taoiseach to bring up certain issues of discrimination against the Protestant community down
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So, the way I look at it, if if the Southern Irish government, if the Republic of Ireland government, if they were to have a country that Protestants down there were saying, this is great, we have complete freedom, we can do this, we can do, you know, there'd be an incentive, but they don't do that.
Yeah.
So, and then you have the Republican attitude up here and what they're doing, denying us the right to walk streets and everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, where's it going? They're making Sinn Féin's making things worse. And what you said was perfectly true. It's Sinn Féin is dividing us.
Yes.
It's Sinn Féin has made the Irish language into a political football. A political
So, do you think it's just a driven hatred against the British and to get rid of us who have been born and bred here and take our land and our homes off us?
It's the way you're brought up and the way you're taught. But most of the Roman Catholic people that I know, who I have are strong friends with, when you find out about them, they probably were brought up in maybe a mixed street,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And it's the way you're brought up and the way you're. Well, I can tell you this: my father never ever expressed any hatred towards Roman Catholics to me.
yeah,
Any time he spoke about Roman Catholics, he never spoke with hatred. He never said anything that was made me feel, oh, I don't like them, I hate Roman Catholics. I had an elder brother who was something similar. He was like a father to me, and he was the same. He was liberal, and he would even go out to clubs and all, mixed clubs and all. And you know, there was no hatred, taught to me.
yeah, yeah,
And I think that goes for both sides of the community. It's the way you're brought up.
yeah,
What I mean, all people may have different views, but there's Eamon Holmes. He comes across to me to have been brought up in a very stable family and
yeah,
a family of parents that cared and give them basic principles.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and I'm taking that from what he says and
yeah,
all.
yeah.
You know, now obviously I have strong views on Protestantism and strong views with Catholicism.
Yep.
That I believe that Catholicism is is wrong in that it's not in line with the teachings of Scripture, just
Yep,
like the
yep,
Reformers.
yep.
But I think once you get a friend with somebody, you can talk about those things.
Dialogue and
Yeah, you know.
discussion. That's all
But
we ask. Yeah.
if you don't have any sort of history of communicating with somebody,
Yeah.
like then if you bring up a thing like that right away, then it's anger. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But if you know someone and you're friends with someone,
Yeah.
then you find that these issues are doctrinal issues
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever doctrinal issues that they can be talked about without
Yeah,
feeling anger.
of course, of course. So you've got nothing against Catholics, as you can see. You're a genuine, honest man, Billy. I know you. I know about you. You were targeted by the NLA yourself, weren't you? You want to tell us what happened?
Um, well, they very briefly. That night, it was after a council meeting. I was home. I was very tired. I was lying in the city, but the telephone rang, which was fortunate. I went to answer the telephone, which was in the hallway, just at the entrance doors, and it was Eric Smith, Councillor Eric Smith. And just then, there was a tremendous thud on the door, the front door. Cut the long story short, although it wasn't a long time, it was a matter of seconds, really, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Smashed the door down. Uh, it started a fire at me right away, but I got the vestibule door, and through the vestibule door, towards them in their faces, and while the fire kept going on, put my two hands through the glass. You know, I was fighting for my life.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But the shooting stopped, and then I called my wife into the back kitchen, and she says you're shot, and I says I'm not, but you seen the blood in my back, and I just stood there at the door waiting for just in case they come up. But what happened was because I fought back, they left the sledgehammer and a bomb disguised as an ordinary transistor radio. They left it in the garden and away they went. So when the police arrived, they seen the radio and they were suspicious and they asked the neighbours about it and they said no. So they evacuated the whole street and of course that bomb went off and all the windows were smashed in the street.
Any injuries from the bomb?
Pardon?
Any injuries from the bomb?
Yeah. From the bomb.
Injuries,
No, the neighbours were the police cleared the street. But the thing is, there was a fella across the way, and he got me into his car. He never worried about blood or anything.
Yeah.
He got me into his car, and he got me to the hospital. In fact, at one time, I think he went over on two wheels. He was going that fast, and he helped to save my life. But
So you talk about Catholics and you have Catholic friends. So how do you feel about that? How did you cope with that and deal with that?
I think it's an important point I have to say to you about that. That the object of the terrorists was to kill my wife and myself.
Yeah.
To leave that radio bomb disguised radio, leave it in the house, right?
Yep.
When the police and the army would come in, it would go off. And so at the end of the day, the wife and myself plus police and army would have been killed.
Yep.
It was full of 6-inch nails. 6-inch nails. So how I feel about it, well, I can tell you, it's strange that people within the unionist community seem to treat me differently for some reason. I don't know why that is. I have no idea. But
I've got an idea, but go ahead.
I don't know. You see, you know, it's very strange. But as far as wanting revenge or anything, I just put it by me. I would say I was affected more by the attitude of people within my own community and the way they treated me. Now, a lot of them treated me extremely well. Most of them did, obviously.
Yep.
But a lot of them prayed for me and all, which I appreciate. Even over in England, they heard about it and they phoned me up, they phoned my wife up and said, well, we heard about Billy, we're praying for him.
Yep.
This is all over the British Isles, we're phoning up about me. And I appreciate that. But I can tell you, I have to say this, see, I can tell a lot. I can say a lot about people within my own community. But I can tell you, I will not be saying. I mean, some things I'll take them a grave
Of course.
because what's the sense?
Yep.
What's the sense? I'm trying to put it. I try to put it apart. Now I did have a breakdown. I have to confess this.
Yeah.
I didn't go into all the details of it, but I managed to come through that, and I got treatment. Got good advice, and how to get my life back again.
Yeah.
And I recovered. I can tell you things that the way I was reacting to things that even I knew. Here's something wrong here.
Yeah.
That's not a normal person.
You
know. But
Trauma. It's trauma.
I came through it,
Yeah.
and I realised now, looking back, an awful lot of, especially policemen and army and all, they didn't get the treatment they should have got.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the boys who said, "Oh, this is terrible," especially the bombs went off in Sandy Row.
Yeah.
I can understand all the boys saying, "Well, I'll have to do something about it."
Yes, of course.
I remember
Retaliation.
being-
Yes.
I remember in Sandy Row and saying, they have something has to be done. So I can understand the boys saying, well, the army and the police are not doing enough.
Yep.
So they joined the UDA and the UVF.
Yep.
In fact, in the early days, there was a Woodville Defence Committee,
That's right. Yep. Yep.
Donegal
Yep.
Road Defence Committee,
That's
which
right,
I
yep,
was
yep.
a member of.
Yep.
The Shankill Defence. There was those three.
Yep.
So I was involved in them early days,
Yeah,
you know. And but things have went on from there, and that gets a wee bit complicated
Yep.
and a bit mixed up
Yep.
with all different things. But I think I've really said enough
Yeah.
for now.
Well, I just want to say, like, on behalf of my community and for me as well, like, I'm just so honoured to be here. I'm honoured to be standing beside you, talking to you the day 2025, and you're still here doing your bit for your country after everything you've been through. Do you ever feel like giving up?
Because I just, I'll tell you what motivates me. This is I'm leaving the most important point to the end. When I was 15 years of age, in my bedroom, 1222 Utility Street, next door was
Yeah,
church. But in that bed, I give my heart and life to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah, amen.
I was 15 years of age.
Yeah.
And that faith has remained with me to this day. So I pray this every day, that the Lord will direct my steps. I believe that if you acknowledge Him in all your ways, He will direct your paths. I believe that.
Yeah.
So every day I pray that the Lord will direct my paths. And I believe what I'm doing, I believe that I'm doing as a Christian.
God work.
A Christian, and I believe in the faith, and I believe in a very simple faith, not a complicated faith. I believe the Bible teaches that you to come to Christ, accept to be born again. You must really become like a little child.
Yeah.
Jesus illustrated that to Nicodemus. Except you be born again. Like a childlike faith, the way a child has faith in his mother,
Yeah.
his father. You need to have that faith. And if you come to Christ with that childlike faith, and then
Okay.
when you do come, then every day you apply that simple faith to your life. Now, I don't ram it down anyone's throat. A wee course I learned years ago, lead me to some soul today. Teach me, Lord, what to say. Now, if people ask me, I'm asking the Lord to guide me and help me. And if a conversation comes up, and I believe that someone has been led to ask me a question, then if they've asked then that's marvellous.
Yeah.
But if I just suddenly say, okay, I'm not criticising people for having other methods. I mean, a real man used to go up and touch somebody in the back, and they turn around and he says, "What if that had been death?
Yeah.
Where would you be?"
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't do that, but I'm not criticising
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah, of course,
But
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it brings a reality that we're every day for me in my age is a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Is
yeah,
a bonus.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
And so my faith is paramount. Faith is paramount, and culture and everything else is secondary.
yeah,
But I believe that Providence gave me a desire, an appreciation of culture and history, because it goes way back to Calvin Secondary School,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
what I was
yeah, yeah,
taught there.
yeah,
And so I believe in the providence of God. He shaped me to be what I am today.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I am what I am today. And, you know, thanks very much indeed. So there you are. You must look it after me.
But listen, I'm going. They're all packing up. I don't want to keep you too long. You're non-stop. You put some amount of work in. We are going to get a sit down. We've had a chat. We're going to get a sit down, get a really good, a proper interview about you, your life, and everything that you've been through and your experiences. And I want to say also right now, thank you, and genuinely thank you for all, from the Protestant Union Lawyers community, for the young ones that aren't here, for the men who should be standing here every Saturday. Thank you for doing it for us.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure. And there is maybe one of the things before you go. I'm battling to try and reinstate some of the streets in Sandy Row, the Hope Street area.
Yeah.
Now I have a tape, but maybe interesting. That community was wiped out through redevelopment, and I was in charge of a wee group called the Emmanuel Adventures Club there in the Emmanuel Mission,
Yeah.
and I have a recording of those children singing. And it's very emotional
Yeah.
to hear them singing, all them children singing, because that was part of the community there.
Yeah.
And I just pray that the day will come, if we can get them streets reinstated and we get families back in again, we can get children back in again, we can get children to sing what they sung on that tape. And I don't mind doing a wee tape with you sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
And to listen to those children from Sandy Row, because the children are the future.
Yep. Thank you so much, Billy.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So yeah, guys,
Thank you very much.
no problem. Cheers, Billy. That's Billy Dixon, and he's been standing here for a very long time, every week, every Saturday, most Saturdays. Very, very rarely will he miss one for the flag. The flag's been taken down off. This is what it's all about. All he wants is the flag back. And we're going to be coming down, and we're going to be looking for our younger ones and the older ones to start coming out here on a Saturday. You don't have to come every Saturday. Just come down and say hello to the boys. These guys have been doing this every week, every Saturday, guys. You know what I mean? That's a long time. 17 years, 13 years. It's crazy. You know what I mean? And dedication. And as you see, this man's been through it. He's one of our oldest and most respected Protestants in our communities. And this is what he's doing on his spare time on a Saturday. Cold, wet, damp, miserable day. Standing up for your rights, or my rights, and to get our flag back on the City Hall. I'm Freedom Dad. God bless.
You fucking phone fucking me?
Come on here then.
You know the fucking who you wagon. Oh, let's stay.
Take the camera.
Fucking camera.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
You fucking cunt.
Come on in.
Hey.
Look at how many yous are. There's only me.
Huh?
There's only me on my own. Look at the many yous are. Is this when yous are hard?
I'm on you.
That doesn't look like it. There's about 10 yous there. Take the camera. Take the camera. Look at them, man. They want to get famous. It's only hard when there's a squad in.